long-term vision, Burundi is your home, then this is the video for you. Now is the moment to gather all your stuff and fly back. "2024 is the time to be home, is the time to move back. The time is now." So why is now a good time to come home? Why should you move back from wherever you are back to Burundi or your home country if it's in Africa, specifically if it is in East Africa? Why am I making an entire video about that? This is what we're going to discuss. Why is it actually a good idea? Here are three things. First and foremost is going to be a blank canvas. What do I mean by blank canvas? It means Burundi is almost a virgin land. There's so many needs, so many opportunities, so many gaps to fill, and your creativity, your ideas, your solutions, they're just welcome. You will literally be a pioneer in almost all areas. So now you're wondering, okay, I have this great idea, but you know, Burundi it's a small country with maybe it's close to the rest of the world. The borders are now open, and they're more open than ever, meaning we're trading freely from country to country. There are different treaties, different understandings that are happening. If you want definitely for me to go in depth on the different things that have been happening and why this is so interesting for us, the people who want to come back home and work from here, I can definitely dive into that. But now the political climate is allowing for us, especially the people who want to get into business, to do these free trades between countries. You export to Nairobi, you sell your services to Tanzania. You are way more free than in past years. Third thing is the internet era. We are in the best time to be working from any location. Literally, after COVID, more companies have become flexible and have allowed for people to just work from different places, depending on either your company or your industry in general. There's just has been an easier way to just work from abroad, and it's not as hard to just stay connected to the rest of the world. Just to say that your reality doesn't change as dramatically as it would have in the previous years. So internet just makes it so easy, so smooth to do these, to stay connected, to stay informed, to keep exchanging information, products, services, and still be based home. Here I'm really speaking to the people who want to do business. Legal paperwork is definitely easier and is less tedious, I would say. It has been made easy, it has been made more smooth, it has been made in a way to ease the creation and the implementation of your ideas, your creations, etc. You can literally create your company within an hour and have it ready to start. Another thing, again, here I'm really talking to the business people, is the manpower. The manpower is still very inexpensive, and producing from here or just to hire manpower from here and creating those jobs still won't come as nearly as costly as doing it abroad. It might change in the future. However, right now it is not. So if you have an idea you want to implement and you need workers, you need people to help, if you need a staff, it is still a smaller expense than if you were to do the same work abroad. Last thing about this being a blank canvas, I'm going to just browse over government's efforts to really help the businesses right now, whether it is connecting them to or making the treaties for the entire East African community, or COMESA for the people who know COMESA. There are so many efforts happening. A little bonus is if you are looking into implementing an idea or a business here, you can get a loan up to 40 million at 0%. And this is just to show you one of the efforts put in place by the government. I know you have so many questions, and I am not going to go in depth in what is needed, what is to take into consideration, what are the challenges, etc. I can definitely dive into that, but just to tell you that there are so many things that are being put in place that you can be the first to take advantage of if you're thinking of coming home. The second thing, apart from being a blank canvas, I'm really talking about going home. This is going to be your long-term vision. What do I mean by that is, what is your home? You have to be clear about this. Not your citizenship. You can be both Canadian and Burundian. You can be both Belgian and Burundian. But you have, when I talk about home, is where do you want your heritage and legacy to be? When you have answered that question, then in your long-term vision, Burundi is your home, then this is the video for you. Because if Burundi is not, if that's not your home, if it's some place you enjoy coming, you're more than welcome to continue to come and to enjoy the country, have a good time. You will always be welcome. If your legacy and your heritage is to be here in Burundi and this is your home, then this is why you want to move now. The reason you want to move now is the earlier you sow, the earlier you harvest. What do I mean by that? You can be like, I will come in 5 or 10 years. Great, come in 5 or 10 years. However, the people who are coming now will be harvesting while you're still sowing, and you have to be aware and okay with that. It will take you time to create your room, to create your lane, and to impose that lane, which is normal. It happens everywhere. But if it's just this fear of, yes, but I'm not ready, yes, but I'm still collecting, yes, there are many yeses, but you have to understand, you have to be aware of what will be the reality at the time you're gonna come in the future. And try to compare with the reality of now. Is it going to be harder or easier to come in the future? And that is an answer for you to, this is a question for you to answer and to be really honest. It's not, it might be very different. The opportunities might be different. Some people might have a similar idea. Maybe they will have implemented that, or whatever answers you find to this, you need to be just realistic about it. You need to be honest with yourself and be like, okay, if I come in 10 years, no worries, I will deal with all that. Maybe I will have teenagers. Now I have to think of their universities. However this makes sense to you, just be honest and understand that after doesn't mean easier. It doesn't mean smoother. It does not mean less expensive. It does not mean that you will have the mean. If you really want to start something, the means will follow you. We can do an entire video about how to source the budgets that you're going to need to implement your ideas. But just to let you know, you have to be really honest with yourself, okay? Last thing about your long-term vision and the different challenges you might have if you're coming at a later time is you might have an issue integrating. Well, I'm not here to bash anyone from outside, but here I am really putting a focus on your home. Because if you are, let me say you are in Denmark and Denmark is your home. Maybe in Denmark people are like, no, go back to your home, Burundi. But here in Burundi too, people will want to tell you, go back to your home, Denmark, because you have made it a point that that's your home. So do not be frustrated. I just don't want you to feel surprised or rejected and not understand. If your home was elsewhere, assume that reality, be okay with that, and move forward as that. Pick your home wisely and stick by that. I feel like it might be misinterpreted as me being like, oh, you chose your home. No, that's not it at all. I'm just trying to bring awareness, because if in 20 years you decide either to move back at that time, you have to understand maybe the friction you will be met with. All right? Last but not least, this is one of my favorite, is going to be move back for your health. Whether it's your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health sometime, and your physical health. I do genuinely believe that you become a healthier person when you move back home. From first the food. The food is still, majority of it is organic. It's full of nutrients. It's full of flavor. And you know that you're putting good stuff. And over the time, I feel like when you're 20, you don't feel much of a difference. But the older you get, the more you see the effects of bad diet, whether it's a bad diet or even a good diet, but of food that are poor in nutrients in your overall health. You start developing just these random diseases or your body is just weaker. So this is something to take into consideration in terms of health. When it comes to mental health, I have seen and I have had my own experiences and testimonies from people that are coming home who are explaining how it actually balances back. It can be maybe the atmosphere, it can be the culture, it can be just the fact of being home or in a place maybe that feels like I can evolve here and I belong. It can come in many forms. Maybe it comes from the culture, it comes from the habits that you find on site. It can come from a variety, or just being surrounded by some members of your family. It can really come from different elements, but people do tell me that, and even myself can tell you that mental wise, you tend to be better off. I'm going to end with a little summary. So why you should move now. First, you have a blank canvas with so much to do, zero competition. You are a pioneer, and there is so many tools that are put at your disposal to succeed. Second thing is to know where your home is and to invest in there early on. If your home is outside, start investing and creating and building the legacy you want to leave. Last thing is, you want a better, healthier lifestyle for yourself. If you feel like the one you have created isn't healthy enough, maybe you have struggled even to find a decent lifestyle, it's okay. But you want to upgrade that and not feel like it's just such a hassle to have a healthy lifestyle around you. These are the main 3 reasons I will tell you. Now is the moment to gather all your stuff and fly back.